Okay, looking at potential pre-tournament favourite, 3-time PD 500 winner, the Watch Wonder, who has been brave enough to turn up with High Tide into a field of Thalia, Guardian of Threbans. And let's see what's happening. Playing against Orzhov, which is presumably a great matchup. Currently 1-0 up. Turn 9, storm count is 11. There may not be too much left of this one. Kaya's Guile is trying to do something, but Scent of Brine revealing some blue cards. Okay, but paid for. And a second Scent of Brine. These are presumably exiled off a Mind's Desire, looks like. There is a Mind's Desire in the graveyard, and these spells appear to be being cast for free. Reenact the crime targeting Mind's Desire. So we're about to cast 14 arbitrary spells from our deck of 29 cards. Probably one of them is a Mind's Desire. So now we can cast our entire deck against an opponent who is entirely tapped out with a storm count of 1 billion. There's a Rise from the Tides, which is a win next turn. Presumably there's also a win this turn. We're racking up the storm count. I don't know what the purpose of that is at this point, as the next Mind's Desire is the entire deck. Maybe there's a Brain Freeze, maybe there's... Oh, we have Fair Wishes in play and 4 cards in hand, so in fact we can go get some arbitrary... Okay. Final Defiance has seen enough. The Watch Wonder with High Tide goes to 2-0. Be warned, all people who thought they would dodge High Tide, and be gleeful everyone who is playing humans, I guess. Lots of silences in their sideboard or something similar. All right, who else have we got at 2-0? So 1-0 rather. I see Resto Kiki, who won several tournaments this season with blue-red control, and I believe has brought blue-red control to this tournament. I think they won 3 or 4 at least. And I see a thing in the ice in play. Let me show it to you folks in Discord as well. There we go. There it is. So here we are in game. Oh, there's an invert polarity on a Sithis, making a 3/3 token and taking a token of thing in the ice and triggering Curse of Silence. And this is game 3. Goldfish Man, I think, made the finals of PD Thursday with this deck after switching to it from humans. Still putting up a little bit of a fight here. Only 1 card in hand, but I guess the thing in the ice, or maybe the Seed Shark, is going away. Thing in the ice. Lurus already been and gone by the looks of things. Okay, so we did Sheltered by Ghosts away a lot of things, but they're coming back, because here's an ill-timed explosion for presumably at least 3, and maybe, you know, safety. Oh no, no cards in hand, so 3 is safe, and a Fact or Fiction does 4, and that is probably it for auras here. Lurus in the graveyard, so it's only what comes off the top. There isn't really a single card that does anything here. So you kind of need to go core Sky Fisher into Sheltered by Ghosts, Ethereal Armor or something to have any kind of sane play. And in fact, they draw planes. So Resto Kiki, who I think talked about this being a bad matchup, might be wrong about that, but I think, you know, describe this as the deck that wrecks them. So they'll be very pleased to get off to a winning start against auras. Yeah, against this board there is no conceivable draw from auras here, so this is over. This blue-red deck plays Dig Through Time, Galvanic Discharge, you know, some very high card quality stuff. So I think it's pretty darn good. Here's a core Spirit Dancer, which can do nothing against 4 power flyers. So that's the end of this. And the Phyrexian getting in just to show who's boss. Alright, let's find something that's maybe not quite so far along. Who else is 1-0? Lots of people, for sure. So here's 13 Ekas, or Beakers, I'm not sure which we're supposed to say, who won more than one tournament this season. They took my really terrible double shoal deck and somehow improved it to tournament winning capabilities, and they also won with a kind of white-green ramp deck. Let me put it up in general voice so that you folks can see it also. So many things to click on. Okay, but they have brought a kind of red deck wins with a kind of exiling stuff sub-theme, and it looks kind of even. No cards in hand for either player now after that thought is displayed, because is a game up, has the biggest creature, but you know, the board of oh, here's an Abrade, which is pretty great here actually. Lower life total, but Leila is about to be a 6/6, a 7/7. So it's really just a question of not taking that last 8 damage, and you know, any lands drawn can potentially be converted into spells by the Party Thrasher. The Party Thrasher is a good blocker for any of these creatures. This Abrade is going to reduce the opposing board down and maybe get rid of the lifelink perhaps. So yeah, looking pretty good for Beakers, although, you know, there's a man land there, there's top decks to come, there's other possibilities. M-Dog is down a game, won several tournaments with this. Choose to take out the Sanctum Prelate, so presumably thinking of Galvanic Discharges and Burst Lightnings of the future, not wanting them to be turned off. Maybe others too, but we see those in the graveyard. Yeah, I mean, a 7/7 that draws cards and a 1/4 that draws cards is pretty good into this board. And there's a Rob of the Rich was exiled from the attack from Lelia, and it really looks good for going to 3-0 for Beakers. The Humans deck kind of wants to be wider than the opponent and faster. Neither thing currently true here, and even the life totals are pretty close after that last smack for 7. There is a life linker. Hopefully Initiate doesn't do too much here, just a 1/2 really. I feel like M-Dog made a bunch of tweaks to this deck and got it in a state where it had good matchups against all kinds of decks, but it probably wasn't thinking of the Party Thrasher Leila deck in any of those tweaks. So Beaker's getting some advantage from going a little rogue here. I don't know if they played this in the season or anything. I don't think I've seen it before. We had those Cascade Lelia decks a couple of seasons ago where people were trying to use Cascade to make Lelia really big, and cascading into See the Truth and Ancestral Vision. All good stuff. Here's a Burst Lightning, so vindicated on the choice of what to Abrade last turn, can now pick and choose which of these potential blockers to kill, maybe the lifelinker. And it looks pretty darn good for mono red stuffs. Mono red card advantage. It's always fun to try and make a color do a thing. Well, I don't know, these days there are so many impulse draw cards in red, maybe it is the color of card advantage. If you want to attack with Robber, you kind of got to kill Thalia, okay, but just content to draw yet another card, attack with a creature that they have no ability to kill and must either chump or take. Well, in fact, the Burst Lightning means they must chump. But we're going with the Burst Lightning before. Oh, because we see a Grim Lavamancer exiled by Lelia, which is sort of lethal next turn if they take the hit from Lelia. So kill the lifelinker, and then invite you to either chump, terrible, or be dead to Grim Lavamancer next turn, also sort of almost unbeatable. So yeah, pretty terrible. Yeah, I don't know what I mean. Sheltered by Ghosts is a starting point here. So you untap, you draw your Sheltered by Ghosts, you put it on your Thalia. You exile the Party Thrasher question mark so you can attack. No, then you die to Lelia. Yeah, it's very rough. I'm having difficulty envisaging. Maybe we've sideboarded in the exile all attacking creatures. You get a land for each one, whatever the hell that's called. I should know, but I don't know. I never get old. And so now we're going to exile at least a Lelia and kind of game on. Yeah, it's okay. I've thought of a draw that would be meaningful here for mono white. Okay, we discard a mountain, find a mountain. Not too thrilling, but as we have a lethal attacker. Oh, we can kill Thalia before we attack and then attack for lethal, which seems pretty reasonable. So this has just got to be the exile all attacking creatures spell. And if it is, it's still really two mountains exiled there. Oh no, a mountain and a castle Ardenvale. So no card advantage gain. So really kind of ever so slightly hopeful if we do have the one card in our 75 that would be good here. Allowing to go to block, so not trying to go for the win right here, presuming that we've won anyway unless real shenanigans happens. So we didn't have the exile all attacking creatures card. We go to 9, there's an active Grim Lavamancer. There's really only one draw in the whole deck, and even then, opponent has to play into it for it to be good. Beakers says, oops, presumably thinking I should have just Lavamancered your Thalia and I would have won. Discards of Party Thrasher a mountain, revealing a Burst Lightning. So starting to look like even the exile all attacking creatures won't really do it here, because we can kick a Burst Lightning and Lavamancer, which is 6 of your 9 life total. Hemdog lamenting their use of Brave the Elements earlier. We didn't see that, but definitely can be a tricky card. This Lelia is horrendously lethal. So once again, the only relevant card in the 75 here is the exile all attacking creatures, and we probably lose even if we have that. Mountain is exiled. Oh, we do have it. Oh no, we don't have it. We have Flare of Fortitude. Okay. This does not Angel's Grace. Oh no, it does Angel's Grace. Your life total can't change. So it's a fog. Not as good as exile all attacking creatures, but I guess there was one other card that prolonged things. Settle the Wreckage, yes, thanks First Pop. That is in fact the name of a card that I have cast many times, but was not accessible to my brain. So Settle the Wreckage. I don't know what we need here. We need to be sandbagging Settle the Wreckage, and also, okay, no. We have a 1/1. Oh, we played an Adeline while I was messing around with Discord as well. Okay, so mono red, exile things, rogue, Lelia, whatever, takes down, presumptive best deck in the format, humans, to go to 3-0. Pretty good. I want to see if Violet Violet Avi. I don't know how we're pronouncing that. I want to see if that match is still meaningfully going, because presumably they're playing Primal Prayers combo, which is pretty exciting to me. They won at least one tournament with it, I think more than one. So let's take a sneak peek. Looks like we're pretty far advanced into some game or other. May or may not be game 3. Let me bring it up on, oops, let me bring it up on Discord. Here it is. So, there was a lot of things in play, but the Elder Dragon War was just played, killing a 6, at least one Fear of Imposters, and stuff. How much damage does it do? It does 2 damage each creature. Okay. I don't know how 6 died. I guess 6 blocked the Chrome Host. 6 blocked something. Anyway, so there's no cards in hand for the blue-red control player. 3 cards in hand and a 4/4 in play. But there are all these little incubator guys who presumably are going to get activated. The second chapter of the Elder Dragon War doesn't do nothing if you have no cards in hand, although I guess they'll have drawn 1 at that point, so it's a loot. But it is going to make a 4/4 flyer also. Here's Dowerport Mage, so not anywhere near comboing, but some blockers at least. If we activated the 4/4, the 3/3, the 3/3, and a 2/2 and attack, there would be some goodish blocks available. So blue-red maybe needs something here. Obviously, Chrome Host Seed Shark is a something when combined with literally anything other than lands, really, in the deck. Or not literally anything, but a lot of things in the deck. We are going to have a 4/4 flyer turn after this. Repeal is a very good against a 4/4 token that was really needed for blocking purposes. Very efficient. Although it does draw a card of Dowerport Mage. If we can survive the turn, maybe we can string together. I mean, we've got a lot of lands in play. So probably trading this 4/4 for the 4/4, taking 2. And then untapping with 5 cards and trying to make something happen into just 1 card from blue-red. Now, they've had a little looting. But I guess it was just whatever came off the repeal, actually. So it's just a random card. Biggest fear would be, I suppose, invert polarity. And there is quite a bit of pressure in the form of, these kind of 3/3s and a 2/2 and 2 1/1s on layaway. And there's even a man land. So end of turn, we're going to activate 2 3/3s. And next turn, we're going to attack for a life total, at least, if not more. But 5 cards for Primal Prayers is a pretty real number of cards into a control player with only 1 random card in hand. Control player is a game up, but it'd be interesting to see what happens here. These pain lands are a little sucky, but you can probably maneuver around that. Starting with a Shardless Agent, so probably not like full combo in hand or whatever.
You can definitely win here by finding prayers and balancing the Shardless.
Oh, right, yeah. So, well, Profane Tutor finds prayers. So, I mean, I guess the last card can be a counterspell is one of the things that would mess that up. But you definitely go for it because it's just 1 card and it is just whatever came off repeal. Could be Galvanic Discharge or anything. Although maybe Galvanic Discharge is good here. I'm not quite sure how interruptible this combo is. So here is prayers, which presumably we just got off the tutor. So do we need the elephant here? And then that's the full combo, assuming the card in hand doesn't do anything, because Dowerport Mage is already in play. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I think if you have a counter spell here, you counter the prayers. I don't know if you can do this combo at instant speed. I guess you can with Primal Prayers. So maybe just waiting to see if they tap out to make the 3/3s come alive and then killing them. Prayers just says, yeah, if you cast a spell this way, you may cast it as a head flash. So if they have, okay, they let them untap, so there's not going to be an instant speed win the game here. But there is 3 cards in hand, active Primal Prayers. Life total is low, but I mean, we're going to be attacking for more than life total, but there are blockers and 3 cards in hand. Presumably we could do something. Can you play off creatures with mana value 3 or less? So no Shriekmaw here, but almost anything else in the deck can just be sort of played at instant speed once attackers are declared to kind of make... Okay, and we're just going like present a lot of attackers. I don't have a counter spell or good interaction for the combo, so I'm just gonna make it as hard as possible for you to survive my combat. We know there's not the full combo in hand because we had a tapped out position where we could have executed it. So it's really just about what these 3 cards are and what state they get us through to next turn in. Bounce is good because the attackers are tokens, or you can block with Shardless and then return it to your hand to have a go again to cascade into something meaningful next turn. Kind of almost any of the creatures would be just fine to play and block with. Maybe something like the guy that draws 2 and discards 2. If you don't have the combo lined up, he might both dig you to it and chump block effectively. Okay, so here is that kind of card. Draw 2 and then discard 2 unless you discard an instant or sorcery card or a creature card with flying. So it's interesting we didn't play this before now, but I guess it can all be... Oh wow, okay, so here's more stuffs. So we can make a 1/1 for chumping, we can bounce something to our hand, we can bounce an opposing creature, and that's what we do. We just bounce one of these pesky Phyrexian whatever they are, eggs. Phyrexian token, is that what it's called? Okay. Then we make blocks that put us to... Oh, we're just going to block a lot of things, which maybe means the last card in hand is some kind of bounce my own guy. Oh, Dowerport Mage has an ability that I don't know about, which is return a creature. Okay, so we return the Shardless to try and dig for the combo again next turn, and we make some blocks/chumps to sort of be alive. Actually, I only took 1 damage. And the attack next turn is not really any better, although it is 6 power in the air, which I suppose is slightly worrying. Probably don't want to tap these pain lands for coloured mana. So here's Shardless digging for... So the elephant is just a win here, and so is Profane Tutor, but we hit a second Dowerport, which we don't need. So we could return Shardless and go again. We have another Shardless in hand, so again, elephant is a win, and there is elephant. So I think that's it. Not an expert on this deck, but I think with the amount of energy they currently have... no, I don't really know how this combo works, as you can tell. So they play this, it gives them 2, they use 1 to replay... I don't know, yeah. You can just keep playing the elephant, draw your whole deck, and then after you've drawn your whole deck, you can play a Laboratory Maniac. And then you do then have to draw a card somehow, but I guess once you've drawn your whole deck, there will be a creature available. Okay, so we're doing some elaborate thing. I'm just looking at the graveyard in case like Laboratory Maniac is there. It is not. But we do seem to be bouncing opponents' creatures with Ether Channeler. I don't know if we had to use up an energy or something. There's something about, like, if you have so much energy when the elephant comes in, it doesn't return to your hand. But it looks to me like this is just a loop. You spend 1... Or no, yeah, you spend 1, it comes in, you don't quite have enough to keep it in play, so it goes back to your hand. Yeah, so this is just draw the whole of the rest of the deck. There'll be 0 cards in library. Then we play Laboratory Maniac with the last point of energy, or one of the last 2 points of energy remaining, and then play a creature that draws a card if there is one. Or no, just play the elephant again, because it will draw a card when it leaves. So that's... maybe it's more complicated than I think, because here we are activating Dowerport Mage's ability to return the Channeler, but I think maybe just because that can draw a card when it ETBs, and we want to play... So put the draw card on the stack, Play the elephant again. Draw the last card. Oh no, we're bouncing Seed Shark and we're passing to the end of the turn. Maybe we sided out Laboratory Maniac? Or, I don't know, we just know we can survive the next turn. Things cast off Primal Prayers can be countered, right? Yes. So they're not being put into play or anything. They are being cast just for an alternate cost. So we have 1 card in library, 7 cards in hand. Really interesting to me that we passed the turn there, but I, as you can tell, I don't really understand this deck so well. Only 1 card in hand for blue-red. Presumably they just drew this shark, and they're just going to see, like, can you kill me? Potentially they have a counterspell, but it seems pretty unlikely, as they didn't have one before. Okay, so we're going for end of turn, Shardless Agent into presumably nothing. Only 4 minutes on the clock, so if they have somehow messed up and are not able to... Okay, so Shriekmaw was the last card in library. They've drawn Shriekmaw. They have 7 cards in hand, no cards in library. So many ways to win with Laboratory Maniac here, and no ways to win, presumably, without it. One of these 7 cards in hand could potentially... Oh, and yeah, so I guess they decided Labman was too risky and decided it out and tried to win with value in the game 2, maybe? Or maybe they're not even playing Laboratory Maniac. Anyway, blue-red control takes it down. Interesting. I thought that was all sewn up for the combo deck for a minute there. Okay, let's see what else is ongoing, if anything. So I see someone's just finished. No, I think that was the last match. So good luck in round 3, folks.